Hello people, welcome back to another Minecraft mod review. Today we're taking a look at Forbidden in Arcanus for Minecraft Java Edition 1.16.5 and today this is a big ass mod. It took me a while to kind of compile everything into this because there's quite a lot of features, as we can see here. This is everything shown here, and we're going to be walking through every single feature and explaining in detail what everything does. This one took me quite a while to make, so I would appreciate if you guys, if you like the video of course, like the video and also subscribe if you're new here as well, because I want to do quite a lot of this sort of stuff, you know, over the next few weeks. I had a lot of stuff busy going, I've been quite busy recently, a lot of stuff going on, so once we move into summer I'll be able to upload pretty regularly and hopefully get more videos out, and I'm like semi close to 100 subscribers, so that'd be quite cool if I could reach that maybe by the end of summer. But without further ado, let's just crack on straight away because this is a big mod and I don't want to keep you guys waiting. So enough with the rambling, let's just dive straight into it. So, the first thing that this mod adds is, I guess it'd be better going over what it actually is first. So, this is a mod that basically adds a bunch of new armor, it adds new tools, it adds new ores, and it also adds new gameplay mechanics with stuff like magic. It adds all sorts of runes, adds a couple of new, some decoration sets and things as well. And it also just adds a lot of just new game mechanics that are really interesting. So definitely check this mod out if you like that sort of thing. And as always, I'll leave the download link in the description below. And I've not really seen too many reviews on this mod. I think I've only seen one actually, one or two maybe. So hopefully this will be of some use to people out there. But without further ado, let's just dive straight into it. So, first of all, this mod adds in two new enchantments. One is called Indestructible, and one is called Permafrost. So the Indestructible enchantment is pretty self-explanatory. When you enchant a tool with this, or a weapon, or a piece of armor, it will make the weapon/tool completely unbreakable. So that is a very valuable enchantment. And the Permafrost we're going to get onto a little bit later on, because that's used for that is useful for the Edelwood lava bucket, which we will talk about later. But that's the use for this enchanted book. So very cool. It adds in a couple of new enchanted books, which is nice to see. Next up, we have 5 new ores, which can be found all throughout the overworld. So all 5 of these are found in the overworld. Starting with the first one here, it's called Stella Arcanum. It is found low down in the overworld, and it will drop stellarite pieces, which are these things here, when you mine it. Now be careful, because when you mine this thing, it will actually explode. So we'll test it over here actually. If I can place this down and then just give it a good old whack, that will create an explosion, which is quite nice to see, and also quite dangerous. So do be careful when you're down below mining this, in case you accidentally mine it. But yeah, that's the Stella Arcanum. Next up we have Arcane Crystal Ore. This is again found low down in the overworld, and this will drop the Arcane Crystals, which are probably one of those useful items that this mod presents to us. So definitely keep an eye out for this. This is found on similar levels to that of Diamond, so that is something to keep note of. Over here we have the X-Petrified Ore, and this is again found in the overworld, and will drop X-Petrified Orbs, which are here, and when you get these you can right click them and it will allow you to gain XP levels, which is really cool. So this is basically free XP. On from those, we have the first of the 2 runestones. This is just the basic runestone, again found low down in the overworld. This is rarer than dark runestone, which is this here. This is actually more uncommon. When you mine it even, you will get to this thing here, which is called the rune. Again, very useful for later on. And on from that, we have the dark runestone, and this is actually more common than the basic runestone. And when you mine this, you will get yourself a dark rune. So that is all the new ores that this mod offers to us. And straight on from that, we have a couple of loot table changes. So expect to find some changes in your mine shafts, your end cities, your dungeon chests, all that sort of thing. So here are all of the items that you'll be able to find, underground and in chests and stuff in loot tables. So we have Orb of Temporary Flight. This will give you a creative flight for a duration of 5 minutes when you consume it, so very cool to see. Dragon Scale, again another item that's going to be very useful for later on. I believe this is only found in end cities, I might be wrong. This here is the Chorus Pearl, which we'll get onto later on, but it's a quite a cool item. This here is the Edelwood Bucket of Suspicious Stew, which is again a cool item that we'll move on to just after this actually. This here is the Edelwood Bucket, which is a bucket that essentially allows you to hold multiple of a source, so multiple water, multiple lava into one bucket. Very useful item. Again, we'll talk about that later on. The batwing, which is used in a new food recipe. Cloth, which can be used in a new armor set. Obsidian with iron, which is used to make obsidian ingots down here. And the Edelwood lava bucket, and as you can see here, we can actually store multiple lava buckets within the same bucket, which is cool. You can also find obsidian ingots and the indestructible enchantment book. So that is all the changes that you will see to your loot tables, which is cool. Before we got into the Edelwood buckets, which is one of the nicest features that this mod has to offer, quick new food type. This is the tentacle, and it'll get dropped by squid, and when you cook it, you will get yourself a cooked tentacle. So a nice little extra food source there. Now, moving on from that, we have the Edelwood buckets. Now, these are really, really cool, and I wish this was true for vanilla Minecraft. This is crafted simply with 3 Edelwood planks, which we'll get on how to obtain and craft later on. But this bucket here will allow you to hold multiple of a sort, like I said. So, you know, this is really, really good. And the Edelwood bucket, which is this one here, this allows you to hold 4 buckets of water. So 4 buckets of water within the same bucket. So basically, what all that means is you can right-click and get 4 water source blocks within the same bucket. So you'll be able to, instead of placing down one source, you can place down 4 separate ones just from the one bucket, which is incredibly useful. Over here we have the Edelwood lava bucket, and this will hold 3 buckets of lava. Quick note though, this is what we're talking about, the permafrost enchantment. This will require the permafrost enchantment, because if you don't use it, the bucket will melt or disintegrate in your hands and put lava on the floor, so you don't really want that. So definitely enchant this with the permafrost enchantment before you go picking up lava. This is, of course, 3 buckets of lava in this. Milk, we have 4 buckets of milk in this, and everything else here we'll be able to hold 8 of. So all the stews here, these are all different stews. This is suspicious stew, mushroom stew, this is beetroot soup, and this is bat soup as well. Basically, we'll get onto the bat soup in a minute or two. But so we can also hold in mobs in this bucket. So we can see here we can hold just the one of each of the mobs, and this allows us to scoop up mobs and place them down wherever we want. So we can scoop a slime in one location and place them down in another location, which is really quite clever. I do like that. And a quick note on the bat stew. This is crafted with any type of mushroom, 1 piece of nether wart, a bowl, and a batwing. And the batwing, which we discussed earlier on, was obtained from killing bats. So that's a new food type here. And also the mushroom stews here. So this mushroom stew is obtained from holding an Edelwood bucket up to a mushroom, and the suspicious stew is obtained from holding a Edelwood bucket up to a brown mushroom. So that is quite cool, and this only holds 1 portion of stew, whereas this holds 8. So that's just something to note. To craft this, for example, just because there's no really way to fill it up, you will just have to combine an Edelwood bucket with 1 piece of beetroot stew, and you can just keep refilling it. So that is quite a cool thing. So that's all the Edelwood buckets, all that sort of stuff. And we're going to get onto farming now. There's a couple of farming changes which are quite significant. So you can take this thing called Arcane Crystal Dust, which we'll get into more detail later on. And when you right-click this Arcane Crystal Dust on farmland, we're going to see, it might not work here actually because I've already, yeah, it won't work here. If I right-click this on the farmland, you're going to see it's going to transform it into this here, which is called Magical Farmland. Excuse the texture, it's just the pack I have on. Magical farmland, and what this magical farmland actually means is we can actually duplicate crops, so we can gain more from just the one crop, which is really, really quite cool. So if we go and get ourselves some bone meal here and grow this up, we should be able to see that when we harvest it, or no, I might actually have to put myself into survival here, so we'll do that just now, and we will harvest it, and we can see that when we do that, it's going to give us more crops than it would normally do. So here we go. I'll throw this carrot away. We're going to harvest this. And you see, we're going to get 10 carrots from the one patch. So that is very, very overpowered, and something you should definitely consider doing with your carrots here. So that is a very, very cool feature indeed. Pop ourselves back into game mode creative here, and we can carry on. Moving on from the quick little farming changes here, we also have a new type of flower. So this is the yellow orchis, and it can be found in flower forests quite rarely. And it's just a nice little decorative flower. Now previously it was actually able so that you could harvest this and you would gain yourself some arcane gold nuggets, but that has actually been changed, and you're no longer able to do that, or at least to my knowledge, because the way you used to be able to do it, it doesn't work anymore. So I'm just assuming it doesn't work now, but do correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't had a chance to explore these flowers fully yet, but that seems to be the case. So that is all the new stuff to do with farming and flowers as well, and the nature side of things. So let's just move swiftly on to all the new recipes and some new armor and just everything, really, the main bulk of what this mod has to offer. So moving on, we have a couple of new dusts and also a brand new gold ingot, which we're going to go over today. The first one here is the corrupted dust, and this is crafted with an obsidian ingot, a piece of blaze powder, a nether wart, a piece of arcane crystal dust, and an ender pearl fragment. Don't worry too much about these 3 ingredients here, we will get on how to craft these very, very soon. So this is just so you know that this is a new type of dust that you can craft, and that is a nice little one that we can use in some recipes later on. On from that, we have the arcane crystal dust, which is what this is, and also what we can use to turn our normal farmland into magical farmland. So the arcane crystal dust is simply created by smelting an arcane crystal, and that will give you 1 arcane crystal dust. So remember that the arcane crystals are obtained from the arcane crystal ore, and that allows you to get your arcane crystal dust. With this is only really useful in a few recipes, one of which is the moondibeater dust. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. This is crafted with a piece of arcane crystal dust, a redstone, a piece of blaze powder, a piece of gunpowder, a phantom membrane, and a bone meal, and that's going to give you your moondibeater dust. This is useful in a few recipes, and also you can right click this on a creeper and it will turn it into a charged creeper, which is highly useful. Saves you waiting for lightning storms and getting all your riptide, or not riptide, sorry, the enchantment that allows you to summon lightning bolts. Channeling, that's the one. Saves you having to do all that, so that is quite useful. That's a nice little thing. On from that, we have the arcane gold ingot, and this is created and crafted by taking 1 gold ingot, 2 moondibeater dust, 2 arcane crystal dust, and 4 pieces of charcoal. Note that it will have to be charcoal, it won't work with normal coal, so that's just a quick thing to know. And this will give you your arcane gold ingot, and this is a highly, highly useful item for the majority of the recipes that we're going to go on and talk about. So that is the new dusts and a new ingot as well. On from that, we have a couple of things to do with obsidian. So starting things off, we have the obsidian with iron, and this is crafted taking 1 obsidian and surrounding it with 4 iron nuggets, and that is going to give you your obsidian with iron. And over here we have the obsidian ingot, and this is created and crafted, this is smelted by taking the obsidian with iron and smelting it in a furnace, and that will give you 1 obsidian ingot. So yeah, very, very cool. And this is another valuable item that will be highly useful later on. On from that, we have the cloth here, and this is crafted by taking 1 piece of white wool, surrounding it by 4 string, and that will give you your 1 cloth. This is useful in a couple of the armor as well, a couple of the armor pieces that we can craft later on, so just remember that. On from that, we have some of the edelwood stuff. So this is the edelwood log here. This can be found naturally, but it only spawns quite rarely with 2 blocks high. It's only a 2x1 spawn. I think it's easier to craft. All we need to do is to do that is to take 1 oak log, surround it with 4 soul sand, and then surround that with 4 pieces of arcane crystal dust. This will give you your 1 edelwood log. On from that, we have some dark matter. Dark matter is crafted by taking your edelwood log, smelting it in a furnace, and that will give you a piece of 1 piece of dark matter, another useful item later on. And here we have the edelwood stick, and this is crafted by taking 2 edelwood logs together and putting them and crafting them. This is used to reinforced arcane gold tools and armor, which gives them significantly higher durability, which we will talk about later on. But that is just a quick note that you should probably take. Over here, this is the skull and obsidian skull, and the skull here is crafted by taking 4 pieces of bone block and putting them in a circle like this, and this will get you your skull. And then the obsidian skull here is crafted by taking your skull, 4 pieces of obsidian surrounding it, and then surrounding that by 4 obsidian ingots. And this will actually, if we have a look, this is going to grant you fire resistance 1 infinitely as long as it's in your inventory. That is really, really cool and really, really helpful, which I think is, and it's also inspired by Terraria, I believe, as well, as this is an item found in that game, and the texture is very, very similar. And there is also another thing that we can craft later on which involves this, which is another source of inspiration from Terraria, so that's a nice thing to see. On from all that, we have some of the new armor things here. So starting things off, we have the obsidian armor. Now this is like, it's a bit different to what you'll probably have normally expected the obsidian armor to be, but once you craft this, you can either use it as it is, or you can use it in a new recipe, which is this one over here, which we'll talk about in a second. But starting things off, we have the obsidian helmet here. simply crafted with 5 obsidian ingots, nothing too special here, but this is where things start to get a bit funky. So here we have the obsidian shoulder pads, and this is crafted with 5 obsidian ingots, but just inverted from what the helmet was. And over here we have the obsidian knee pads, simply 2 obsidian ingots, very, very easy to craft. And then on from that we have the obsidian boots, which is 4 pieces of obsidian ingot. Very, very cool. Now this is actually similar to diamond, so we can have a look. If we take a look at the stats here, we can see it's going to give us plus 4 armor and plus 1.5 armor toughness for the helmet. The shoulder pads are going to give us plus 3 armor and plus 1.5 armor toughness. The obsidian knee pads are going to give us 3 armor and 1.5 armor toughness, and of course the obsidian boots are going to give us 4 armor and 1.5 armor toughness. So yeah, kind of similar starts to diamond there, but without the armor toughness, of course. On from the obsidian armor, we have the Draco Arcanus set, and this is actually a very, very similar armor set to the one in Terraria. I think it's called the Shadow Scale armor. It just looks really, really cool with the horns coming off the side of the helmet here. I love this one. But it does actually incorporate the obsidian armor we've just crafted, so let's have a look at what this is all about. So your Draco Arcanus helmet is created with 4 obsidian ingots, 1 dragon scale and 1 obsidian helmet, and we'll get on how to get this later, don't worry too much about that, just note that you will need it for this armor set. The Draco Arcanus chestplate is created using 4 obsidian ingots, 4 dragon scales and 1 obsidian shoulder pads, and that's how you craft the chestplate. The leggings is of course 4 obsidian ingots, 3 of dragon scales and of course 1 obsidian knee pads to create that armor piece there. And the boots over here are crafted using 2 obsidian ingots, 2 dragon scales and 1 pair of obsidian boots. So that is that's the Draco Arcanus armor there. And if we take a look at this guy's stats, they are quite OP. So the helmet is going to give you 6 armor and 3 armor toughness. The Draco Arcanus chestplate is going to give you 10 armor and 3 armor toughness. The leggings are going to give you 8 armor and 3 armor toughness. And the Arcanus boots are going to give you 6 armor and 3 armor toughness. So that's a very, very nice set of armor there. And I love the sprites in it. The art just looks really, really good. On from the Draco Arcanus armor, we have the Tur armor. And this is a really, really nice looking set with the gold and blue kind of sprite art going on here. And this is crafted with 4 aquatic dragon scales and 1 golden dragon scale for the helmet here. We'll get onto the dragon scales later on. The chestplate is crafted by using 5 aquatic dragon scales and 3 golden dragon scales. This stuff is very expensive, by the way, and we'll soon see that when we do get onto how to craft the dragon scales. The leggings are crafted with 3 dragon scales, 4 aquatic dragon scales, and the boots are crafted by using 2 aquatic dragon scales and 2 golden dragon scales. So that is the Tur armor there, and I really do like the appearance of this thing. Let's take a quick look at the stats. So we can see this one is going to give us 7 armor, 4 armor toughness, 12 armor for the chestplate and 4 armor toughness. Tur leggings are going to give us 10 armor and 4 armor toughness, and the Tur boots are going to give us 8 armor and 4 armor toughness. So that is very, very nice to see. That 4 armor toughness is really, really quite significant. So very, very cool to see. Moving on from that, we have the Mortem set. Now, I like the art of this. I like the art of all of it, to be honest, but I think this one is one of the coolest looking ones. So, starting off with the helmet we have here, we're going to get ourselves 5 pieces of cloth and 1 skull. And this is where the cloth from earlier would have come in useful. For the chest plate, we're going to need 3 bones, 1 piece of cloth, 3 pieces of cloth though. Sorry, 3 pieces of cloth and 3 bones for the chest plate. The leggings, it's going to require 4 pieces of cloth and 1 bone. And the boots, 2 bones and 2 pieces of cloth. So that is nice to see for the Mortem set. And looking at the stats here, we're going to see it's going to give us +1 and +1 armor and +1 armor toughness for the helmet, +5 armor and +1 armor toughness for the chest plates, +4 armor and +1 armor toughness for the leggings, and finally +1 armor, +1 armor toughness for the boots. So quite an early game set there, but a nice little cosmetic, I think, that will look quite nice on your character. The final armor set in this mod is called the Arcane Gold armor set, and this is similar to gold but with higher durability and higher defense. So taking a look at the helmet here, we have 5 arcane gold ingots for this, which is very, very simple. For the chest plate here, we're going to need 8 arcane gold ingots. For the leggings, it's 7 arcane gold ingots, and the boots, of course, is 4. So just your normal recipes, but replaced with the arcane gold for that. Looking at this guy's stats, they are quite good actually. The helmet is going to give you 4 armor and 1.5 armor toughness. The chest plate is going to give you 8 armor and 1.5 armor toughness. The boots are going to give you 6 armor and 1.5 armor toughness, and the boots, the leggings, sorry, and the boots are going to give you 4 armor and 1.5 armor toughness for that entire set. So that is, quite good to see that as well. Moving on from all the armor sets, we have a couple new ways we're going to be able to get ourselves the dragon skills, which were used in the turret armor set. So to do this, first of all, we're going to want to craft ourselves a mystical dagger. And this is quite an expensive recipe. This is crafted using the Edelwood stick, 2 pieces of arcane gold ingot, 1 piece of dark matter, and also a dark rune, and that's going to give you the mystical dagger. Quite an expensive recipe, as I said, but it is very useful for later on. Moving on to the first dragon skill. This is crafted by taking, gathered by taking the mystical dagger to a dragon head, and that's going to give you 3 dragon skills. So that's nice to see. It's not going to give you the 1, it's going to give you 3. And with these dragon skills, we can use them in a couple of recipes, but we can also transform them into 3 different dragon skills. So first off here we have the silver dragon skill. This is crafted by taking your normal dragon skill, surrounding it with 4 pieces of iron, and also 4 more pieces of arcane crystal dust. So that is a nice recipe there. The golden one is quite similar, but with the dust. This is the dragon skill, and 4 pieces of arcane gold ingot. And then on from that we have the aquatic dragon skill. This is created using the dragon skill, 1 piece of prismarine crystal, 1 piece of arcane dust, and 1 piece of prismarine shard. And this was of course useful in the turret armor that we went over before over here, so we can see some of the recipes here. Very, very useful, these dragon skills for that armor. And that is all the armor that this mod has to offer, as well as the dragon skills. On from that we have the obsidian shield. Now this is crafted by taking your obsidian skull and surrounding it with 4 silver dragon skills. And this is quite an OP piece of equipment, because you're going to see it's going to give you fire resistance 1 and resistance 1 in general. So that is a very, very nice thing to have in your inventory. And this will of course do permanent, the thing's glitching out like mad, but that will allow you to have permanent fire resistance and permanent resistance while this thing is in your inventory. So that's a nice thing to see. And with all the armor and the dragon skills and the obsidian shield out of the way, let's just move on to a quick few miscellaneous items that didn't really fit anywhere else, so I thought I'd just compile them into their own thing. So starting with the first thing that we have to offer, we have the dark nether star. This is a very expensive material but useful for later on. Crafted with a nether star, surrounded by 4 obsidian ingots. Next up here, we have the lovely little chorus pearl, which is crafted with an ender pearl, 4 chorus fruits. What's cool about this is we can actually take a mob, which this pig has very magically appeared over here, and we can actually teleport them by throwing this at them. It's going to teleport them to random locations, which I think is quite funny. As we can see over here, if we do it again, it will TP him to somewhere random, which is really nice. So that is the chorus pearl. On from that, we have the Spectral Eye Amulet, and this is crafted with 2 arcane gold ingots, 3 string, 1 nether star, and an Eye of Ender. And this will actually show hostile mobs as having a red outline. Passive mobs will have a green outline, and water mobs will have a blue outline. So that is a cool thing. If we go and have a look at the pig, actually, yeah, here we go. So passive mobs will have a green outline. So it's like an ESP, and this will actually work through walls. So if we go and place a couple of blocks up, we're going to see the outline through the blocks, which is really, really quite cool. So definitely a worthwhile thing to begin to think about crafting. On from that, we have the boom arrow. So this is the boom arrow, and it's crafted with 1 TNT surrounded by 4 arrows, and it will give you 4 boom arrows. This arrow will explode on impact, but it will cause no environmental damage, which is really quite nice. Over here we have the Draco Arcanus arrow. It is crafted with 1 dragon's breath surrounded by 4 arrows, and this will create a field of dragon's breath on impact. Note that the dragon's breath that gets created won't be retrieved during the if you try to pick it up with the bottle. So if we can get ourselves a bow and we get ourselves some Draco Arcanus arrows, we're going to see that this will create a field of dragon's breath if it impacts something. So where's the pig? Come back here. So if we shoot this at him, it's going to deal dragon's breath and stuff, and you can't pick that up with a bottle, which is something to know. And on from that, we have over here we have the seed billet. Crafted with 1 arcane crystal dust and 4 pumpkin seeds, or just 4 of any seeds actually. And when you throw this, it's actually going to give you random seeds. So we can see here that's going to give us some potatoes. That's going to give us some pumpkin seeds. This is going to give us some more pumpkin seeds. This is going to give us some more pumpkin seeds. This is going to give us a carrot, and etc. And that will give you random combinations of seeds, which I think is really, really nice to see, which is very cool. Over here with the ender pearl fragment, which is kind of a misc item, crafted with 1 ender pearl. It's going to give you 4 of them. The fragments. And last but not least, we have the gold feather, and this is going to be crafted with 1 feather and 1 arcane gold ingot, which is all very cool. On to tools now. We have the bone tools, which is a kind of your baseline, not much going on with them. Crafted with 1 bone, 2 bone blocks for the sword, and basically this just repeats. So you just replace the sticks with bones, and you replace the material with bone blocks. So you can see all the way throughout here, which is very, very cool. Over here we have the arcane gold tools, crafted with normal sticks. You can craft them with normal sticks and arcane gold ingots, but that's only giving you the baseline materials. You can replace the sticks with edelwood sticks, and that will reinforce them and give you these. Will give you reinforced arcane tools. If we have a look down here, yep. So we can see we have the reinforced arcane gold sword and the normal arcane gold sword. It's going to give it 700 more durability points. That's a lot. So upgrading from the arcane gold sword to the reinforced arcane gold will give it 700 more durability points in the shop, which is very, very cool. And that goes with all of them. Onto this, we have the obsidian items. These are actually similar to diamond, but with more durability. So here we have the obsidian sword, we have the obsidian shovel, the pickaxe, the axe, and the hoe here. So that is all just normal crafting recipes. One thing that doesn't have normal crafting recipes, however, is the Draco Arcanus materials. So every single tool here will require the scepter. So this is the Draco Arcanus scepter, and you will need this to be included in every single tool that you make with the Draco Arcanus tools. So this scepter is crafted just simply with 5 obsidian ingots and 1 ender pearl and 1 ender pearl fragment. It'll give you 1 scepter. And we can replace what the stick would usually be with the scepter with each tool. So for the sword, we're going to need ourselves 5 dragon scales and 1 diamond and a scepter. A staff, sorry. Over here, we're going to need a staff, a diamond, 2 obsidian ingots, and a dragon scale for the shovel. This is the recipe for the pickaxe, so 4 dragon scales, 1 obsidian ingot, 1 diamond, and a staff. The axe here we can see is quite similar with the layout there. The hoe as well is a bit more sophisticated than the normal one. And of course, the last thing that we're going to go over is the Draco Arcanus staff here, which is very, very cool. I really, really like this thing. This is the scepter. I always mix up this with this is the scepter and this is the staff, but this is the scepter here, crafted with a staff, an obsidian ingot, 2 diamonds, and a dark nether star. And we can see that if we draw this back like a bow, we'll launch a little end crystal or a little bolt of lightning at our enemies. This will not consume durability when you use it, by the way, so this is infinite use, which is really, really cool. And these tools do the most damage and the most durability, and are just the most efficient in the entire game and mod. So we can see if we take here the Draco Arcanus sword, this thing does 12 attack damage. That's very, very good. And the axe over here will do, I believe it's 14. Yes, 14. That's very, very cool as well. So yeah, that's something to note. 2 special tools we have in the game, the Inferium Pickaxe and the Slimek Pickaxe. The Inferium Pickaxe is crafted with 2 edelwood sticks, 2 blaze powder, 2 magma cream, and 1 obsidian skull. This pickaxe will turn any ore into its smelted counterpart. So if we take this and we get some iron ore, so let's just get ourselves some iron ore down here. We place this down. Normally you get the iron ore when you mine it, but this time you're going to get... why did I just try and do that in creative? That was a really, really stupid thing to do. Let's put ourselves into survival and test this properly. So if we place down our iron ore and we mine this with the Inferium Pickaxe, we're going to see that it doesn't give us anything. Or, no, that was lag. It gave us an iron ingot. So when you mine something with this pickaxe, it will give you the smelted counterpart, not the ore, which is really, really cool. I think that's amazing. Instead of having to spend ages smelting in the early game, you can use this if you don't have a super smelter. So that is definitely something to keep note of. And moving on from that, we have the Slimek Pickaxe. The Slimek Pickaxe is going to be crafted with, here we go, 2 edelwood sticks, 3 arcane gold nuggets, gold ingots, sorry, a golden feather, and a slime ball. And this will actually have, it'll come equipped with infinite silk touch. So we can see here it has silk touch on it. So this is a nice early game pickaxe to get yourself if you can't be bothered finding silk touch or enchanting about 40 pickaxes to find silk touch, because we all know that can be a pain. So this is a nice early game pickaxe to get yourself, and that is all the tools added to this mod. Moving on from all that stuff, we have some bottles and some pixie stuffs. Now the bottle, this is the bottle block by the way, is crafted just with 7 glass and 1 plank. And when we place this down, we can see it looks very, very nice. And this can be used in a multitude of recipes. So the first one is the pixie in a bottle. Now currently there is no way to get the there's no way to get the pixie naturally as of this video, but there might be one in the future. But just as you know, it is crafted with a pixie and a bottle, and this acts as a light source as well. It will emit light, as we can see here, and it just looks quite cool. Similarly, we have the corrupted pixie in a bottle. Now we'll get onto how you can craft this thing, because you can craft this in survival. But when you place this down, it's going to look a little bit different, and will also emit light, but just very faintly. So there are those 2 blocks. Moving on to one of the bigger things, this is the soul extractor. This is a very, very cool tool. So what we can do with the soul extractor is right click on soul sand, and it's going to actually extract the soul from it and give us a soul. So we can see if it, I don't think it worked there. Did it work there? No, it doesn't appear like it did. That's strange. If we try it again, we can get ourselves some soul sand, then hopefully it will work. So let's just place this thing down here, and we extract it like that. And when we hold this for long enough, it is going to give us, there we go, it's going to give us a soul. And once you do that, it's going to replace this this block with soulless sand. And this can be used to craft some decoration blocks later on, like we'll see. This will give you 1 soul, by the way. That is it from each piece of soul sand. So you can get yourself quite a lot quite easily there, which is very nice to see. And this is crafted with 2 pieces of nether brick, 1 block of quartz, 1 bottle block, and 1 nether quartz. So that is a relatively simple recipe that you can get yourself quite early. Very, very cool to see. Similarly from the soul, I love this wee animation. I think it's so cool. This is the dark soul, and this is crafted with 1 corrupted dust and 1 soul, and that's going to give you the dark soul here, which is quite nice to see. The corrupted pixie is crafted with 2 feathers, arcane crystal dust, and a dark soul, and you don't actually need to combine these 2, the corrupted pixie and the bottle block, to make a corrupted pixie in the bottle. You can actually just right click it on the bottle there to create it into the corrupted pixie in the bottle, which is quite handy. And that is all these stuff to do with souls and stuff. Moving on from all the pixies, I have this one little feature that I wanted to quickly go over. So this mod now gives rotten flesh a new use. Take 5 rotten flesh, it's going to give you some rotten leather. Now when you smelt this rotten leather, it's going to give you normal leather. So that's a nice new way to use all that rotten flesh that you've got sitting around that does absolutely nothing. So that is a nice little feature there that we can be thankful for. Over here we have some rune bags. Now these serve no purpose apart from just storing runes in bags and not having them not take up too much inventory space. So here we have the normal rune bag, and this is crafted simply with 4 runes and turns it into just the 1 item, which is nice to see. This is the dark rune bag, and this is crafted with 4 dark runes. And I wonder, do these stack? Let's see if these stack. Oh, they do. That's very handy. So that is a nice way of storing all your runes and your dark runes. A nice little feature there. Now, let's go on to actually an alternate method of getting ourselves some dark runes, because while you can find them underground, there is another method, and we're going to go over that right now. It's quite a lengthy process, so just stick with me. So, first of all, we're going to take some darkstone. Darkstone is found underground, and very, very low down, underground, mind you. And when we smelt this, we're going to get some polished darkstone bricks. Take our polished darkstone bricks and turn them into slabs. Now the slabs are crafted, of course, just with polished darkstone, 3 polished darkstone. That's going to give us your 3 slabs, and once we 6 slabs. Sorry. Once we take our slabs, we can now make ourselves some chiseled polished darkstone. And the chiseled polished darkstone is crafted, of course, with just 2 polished darkstone slabs. And once we get the chiseled polished darkstone, we can combine it with a rune, and that's going to give us runic chiseled polished darkstone. With this runic chiseled polished darkstone, we can now craft a runic terebus core. This is quite expensive, so you might want to take note of that. We have 1 dark matter, 4 runic terebus chiseled polished darkstone, and we also have 4 arcane gold ingots, and we put all these into this recipe here, and that is going to give us our runic terebus core. Place this down like so. When we take a dark nether star and we right click it, it's going to turn it into a terebus core, which is powered. So we can see here this is now powered. And what we can do with this is permanent, by the way, this won't run out. We can take our runes and we can actually just feed it into here, and it's going to give us however many dark runes for however many runes we right click on this. So this is an easier way of getting dark runes, really, and it's quite a cool thing, and it just looks really cool. I mean, who would want that in their base? That just looks amazing. So that is the runic terebus core that we can get ourselves here. So yeah, that is a very nice thing to see. Moving on from that, we have a couple new things that can spawn underground. So this is the petrified root block, and it is a very strange looking bushy block that can be found in caves. And what this actually does is not really too much just now, but when you break it, it will drop these strange root, which can be grown and planted on any stony surface. So it's already grown because I've been away doing other things while this has been, doing its thing. But we can see here, initially when we plant it down, it will just start off small and then it will get bigger. So it's a nice little, decoration block that you can add which I think looks quite nice. So that is underground, and this route here serves no other purpose currently apart from decoration, but hopefully it will get one in the future, because it would be cool to see what sort of thing you could do with this. Maybe a potion ingredient or something, I don't know. But on from that, let's move on to some decoration. This is the last portion of the mod. We'll hopefully fire through this stuff quite quickly. So starting off, we have this wax, which is crafted with just one slime ball and one piece of honey. Now, this wax is going to be useful for candles, and it feels like loads of mods now have incorporated candles after the announcement of 1.17. So that is quite nice to see, because I do like myself some lovely candles. But once we come out of here, we can see over here we can make ourselves some candles. Very, very easy to craft. We just need one wax and one string, and I just think they look really cool. They act the same way that most candle mods do, so you can place them in groups of 1, 2, 3, or 4, and they act the same way as sea pickles. The more you place, the brighter they're going to be, and I think they also just look really good. So that is the candles there. When we move on from that, we're going to see we could actually craft ourselves some candelabras. So this is the stone, iron, and arcane gold variants of the candelabras. Recipe is very, very simple, as we can see here. 6 stone blocks, and also that's going to give us 3 stone candelabras. And just replace that with whatever material you want, and you'll get 3 of it. 3 different ways to place this. We can place it on the wall, we can place it on the ground here, and we can place it hanging from the ceiling. And what's going to happen when we place our candles into this? Well, the more we place, it's going to extend the candelabra. So we can keep placing them in groups of 1, 2, and also 3, which I think looks really, really cool. And obviously that alternates with what direction that you place them in, like so. So that is a nice thing to see. If we get this, I can show you what I mean by that. So it's going to go in this direction instead of this direction. So you can swivel your way around and find out what direction you want the candelabra to extend from, which is I think is quite cool. And of course, with the arcane gold one here is similar. So that is the candelabras, which I think are a really nice decoration item, and I really wish they were in vanilla, because look at them, they just look amazing. Perfect for like banquet tables and medieval castles and stuff. But on from that, we have a couple of chains. This is the iron chain, crafted the same way that vanilla is, so 2 iron nuggets and 1 iron ingot. That is going to give us the chain, and this could connect from the ceiling, and it's a nice little way to hang your candelabras. We also have the arcane gold chain, and this is crafted with 2 arcane gold nuggets and 1 arcane gold ingot, and also can also be hung from the ceiling like so. And then lastly over here we have the beautiful candle lamp, which I think looks amazing as well. Crafted with 2 pieces of stark stone, 4 arcane gold nuggets, 2 arcane gold ingots, and of course 1 candle in the middle. And look at it, it just looks so cool. I really like this. It's a nice little detail. But yeah, that's all the kind of light source decoration blocks that this mod has to offer. Let's move on to some trees. This is kind of environmental stuff. This here might look like a tree, but it is, trust me. This will be found in dark, drift forests, and this is the edelwood log that spawns naturally. Now you see what I mean by this is easier to craft, because there's 2 of them, and they're quite rare, and you have to go to a specific biome. It's not really handy, so I do advise just crafting these, but these can be found in rift forests just naturally spawning. On from this, we have the cherrywood tree, which I think looks amazing. Look at that, it's like a cherry blossom. It's like in the style of a savanna tree, and this can be found anywhere in plains biomes and stuff. And then lastly over here, we have the mystery wood tree, and this can be found in flower forests quite rarely, but it's quite easy to quite distinct to see, as with the leaves here, and it also emits these lovely little particle effects from the wood here, which I think gives it a little bit more magic feel to it. And that is the new trees that can be found. Also, one thing to note with the cherry wood tree, rarely the leaves will drop cherry peaches, which are just kind of a nice little food source similar to apples that you can use as well. Finally, let's move on to some decoration blocks and all the sets that this mod has to offer. There's quite a lot, so we'll fire through them quite quick. Here we have all the edelwood planks and the edelwood set. We have the arcane edelwood planks as well, which is just incorporating a arcane gold ingot into that crafting recipe. So here we have the planks, the stairs, the slabs, all that sort of stuff. Ignore this wee thing that's going to pop up a few times. It's just the texture pack but the texture pack I'm using is not loading it correctly, so just ignore that. Here we also have the ladder, the edelwood ladder, and this actually allows you to climb down it faster than it does with vanilla, which is quite nice. So we can see we just kind of drop down the edge like that quite quickly, and the sign here as well. Over here with the cherrywood stuff, this is my favourite. I think it looks amazing. It almost looks like a brick. and this is the entire set here as well, similar to Acacia, almost similar, inspired by Acacia, but again, just looking really good here. And over here we have the mystery wood. Now this is really cool because you're going to see the it's going to change color. I wouldn't advise building your house out of this because that would probably be quite trippy to look at. It'd make it feel like you're on LSD or something. All these colors changing in your vision, but it is quite a cool thing to see that you can use a bit of decoration. But I do like the door. I think the door does look very, very cool. And that is the new wood types. Over here, the soulless sand that we talked about earlier can actually be crafted into different sandstones. So this works the way as a normal sandstone. So here we have the soulless sandstone, these cut soulless sandstone, and the polished soulless sandstone. And we have variants for all the different types here. We have the normal, we have cut, and we have chiseled, and we have all that sort of stuff. And this carries on over here. Really, really nice blocks that we have going on. And over here we have some darkstone stuff. So this is the 3 different darkstone variants that we can get. We can get the normal, we can get polished, and we can get bricks. This is just the normal set here, and we can also get some arcane gilded darkstone, which is going to drop us the arcane gold nuggets, which is quite cool to see. But from this we can also craft the polished darkstone and the polished darkstone, chiseled polished darkstone, and the polished darkstone bricks that we can kind of craft with that material. So yeah, a lot of things we can craft with that, and it's nice to see some new decoration blocks being incorporated into this mod as well, including new pressure plates and new buttons, which is nice. So that's a nice dark block that you can decorate maybe castles within dungeons and stuff. Will look very, very cool with these blocks. Lastly, we have some of the arcane polished darkstone stuff. Again, looks very, very cool. I particularly like this pillar here. I think it looks cool, and obviously it will extend when you pile it up like so. Decorating museums and stuff with this would definitely be something you might want to do. And we can also have the darkstone rods as well, which again, stack up on top of each other like so. Very, very cool. On from that, we have the arcane glass here, and this is a new type of glass which does look very, very nice, as we can see here. And we have the glass frames as well, and we also have the arcane darkstone, which is technically part of this set, but I included separately just because I did. And over here we also have some of the runic stuff. So this is the runic glass and the dark runic glass and their pane counterparts. Again, looking very, very nice here. It's nice to see some new color variants, and I like how the color actually changes. The shade changes from like a like a darker sort of purple and slowly fade into a light pink. I think looks really, really clever and cool there. Similar with the dark runestone. Over here we have some, just kind of mystical stuff, and also some stuff that doesn't really have a use yet, which we'll get onto later on. But first, let's just start off with the last few decoration blocks. Here we have the arcane crystal block. I think it looks really, really cool. It's actually semi-translucent, as we can see through onto the planks there. This is crafted, of course, with just 9 arcane, 9 arcane crystals, and this block is kind of a nice decorative. Like you could maybe use it as like glass actually, because it is somewhat translucent. So maybe decorating windows and whatnot with this wouldn't even be that bad of an idea. But on from that, we have the dark nether star block. This is a huge flex to have, because this requires 9 separate nether stars, not just dark nether stars, but 9 separate nether stars to create. So yeah, very, very expensive. But once we do craft it, we get this very, very cool looking block, like so. Decorating, you could decorate a throne with this or something. It would look cool. That goes really well with the dark stone here. That looks very, very nice. You could definitely incorporate this into some build with that. But that's me just getting carried away. Let's move on. Moving on from that, we have the arcane gold block here, which looks very, very nice. So we can also have weighted pressure plate counterparts and door as well. This acts in the same way as an iron door. It's just a new kind of variant here. Of course, crafted with 9 arcane gold ingots. On from that, we have the stellarite block, which is crafted with 9 stellarite pieces that we get from the other ore that we start at the very start of the mod, the one that blows up. And on from that, we also have the end crystal gem, which I think looks really, really nice. It doesn't have a use yet, but maybe there will be in the future, who knows. Crafted with 1 end crystal surrounded by 4 arcane crystal dust, a relatively simple thing. Apart from this isn't very simple, but apart from that, it is a nice little block to have, and could definitely be used in some sort of like sorcerer's tower. Maybe would be a nice thing to incorporate this with as like some orb of some sort, which I think just looks very, very nice. On from that, we have the arcane dragon egg. This is crafted with a dragon egg and surrounded by these golden dragon scales, and I think this looks amazing. Look at that, it even has like a little particle effect coming off of it, as we can see here, and it just looks very, very nice, like so. And note that when you right click this won't teleport, so this is a permanent block that will stay here, which is nice to see. On from that, we have a couple of items that don't yet have uses. So this here is the, excuse me, Hephaestus Forge. I've tried everything and this doesn't have a use yet. I've tried with books, I've tried with weapons. Let me know in the comments if and when this does have a use. That way I can have a wee look around it and just to see what it actually does. But this is the Hephaestus Forge. It's a cool looking block. But yeah, no real use yet. Same with this here. This is the Arcane Crystal Obelisk. I haven't found a use for it yet. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I haven't found anywhere online that has said anything about it. So I think this is quite a newly incorporated block here, but it still looks very, very cool. Also the Dark Beacon here, I can't even right click this. There's not even like a menu to open it. So this also is not yet in use, but it's a nice looking block though. I'm excited to see what the devs do come up with this. Finally, on from that, we have a thing that will have a use, which is a new item, and this is the Quantum Catcher, crafted with spawner scrap, which is obtained from mining a spawner. We'll give you a couple pieces of this, and a arcane crystal block. Doing all this in the smithing table will give you the Quantum Catcher. Very, very cool thing. It allows you to pick up and drop mobs here, so we can pick up this pig if I actually try it correctly. That is very, very strange. Why was it not picking that guy up? Oh, there we go. That was very weird. It wasn't picking him up there. But as we can see, we've picked him up, and it says Entity Minecraft Pig. It's going to show us what entity is inside this. And now that we've got this Minecraft Pig in our Quantum Catcher, we can just put him down like that, and there he is. He's back down again. So yeah, very, very cool thing that we can use there. Also, we have the Edelwood oil. Currently, I don't think this has a use yet. You can get it from the Edelwood log over there, naturally spawning. There will be a little pool of oil that gathers inside of that. You can just right-click the bottle on it, and it will give you your Edelwood oil. But no, nothing currently for that. And last but not least, we have the Eternal Stella. And this is a very quite an expensive item, but it's really, really cool. So this is crafted with 1 stellarite piece surrounded by 4 petrified orbs, and this will repair all current items, all current tools, armor, and weapons in your inventory. Everything, it will repair it to full durability 3 times. That's what this means here. The right-click uses left 3. This can be used 3 times to fully repair everything in your inventory, which I think is really, really cool and really OP. So definitely get yourself some of them if you're going to be playing this in survival. But with that, that is absolutely everything. This is everything that the Forbidden and Arcanus mod has to offer at this point. They are updating it fairly regularly, so if there are any new features, who knows, I might come back and go over them, because this is a fun mod to go over. But again, this video might be a bit longer in length, just because it's a bigger mod, but I tried to kind of compress it as well as I could. But yeah, apart from that, thank you all so much for watching. Also, thank you for the support on the some of the more recent videos, and also Buzzy Your Bees has done very, very well. I think it's just over, I think it might be about 1.5k views by the time that this comes out anyway. So yeah, very, very appreciate the support on that. And remember, if you're new here, do consider subscribing. It would be very, very nice, and I'd highly appreciate it. But as always, I just hope you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for checking in. Goodbye.